What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake NBA DFS Early Look CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And of course, I'm from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms listed below or directly at WiseTake.com if you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level. We are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community design. Help make you a better DFS player. Check us out, WiseTake.com. Day passes are available if you want to try out the content. We got projections, cheat sheets, core plays article, fast break sheet to help you when you're in a pinch. And of course, our pre-lock live stream. We do Monday through Friday. Go 45 minutes prior to lock, all the way up to lock to make sure you have all the news, the latest breakdowns after as much information is out as possible prior. So go check us out. Like I said, $2.50 is all the cost to try us out for the day. Boom. That being said, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe, hit the notifications bell so you're notified whenever we do go live or put out any sort of DFS content. Hit the like button. The like buttons really help us out. They allow us to continue to do what we do on the YouTube, Twitch platforms, Podbean, iTunes, all that good stuff. So with you guys leaving some feedback, some comments, hitting the like button, it allows us to continue to do it. So, and we want to do it. We want to be able to give the free content and be in touch with the WiseTake Nation. So hit the like button if you can. All right. This is 2021 NBA. We've got the COVID thing going down. We're starting to really see it. It seems like it's kind of running rampant throughout a lot of the league. Not even just with the players' infection rate, but the protocol rate, right? Because you don't have to be infected to get included in the protocol here. We saw a situation with the Sixers that was pretty crazy, and they're still in the midst of it. So we're going to start with the Sixers here. And so in their last game, Ben Simmons was out. Shake Milton was out. I believe Joel Embiid was also out. Tobias Harris was out. Literally all of the starters, right? We already know Seth Curry's out. No Tybalt, Ferguson, Korkmaz, none of them. They're all going to be out again except for Embiid. Embiid's actually probable. He traveled with the team to Atlanta, and he's probable for this game. So I can tell you right now that for the purposes of this early look, especially against Atlanta, fast-paced team that struggled against bigs, we're just going to put him off to the side. The other player we're going to put off to the side is a guy by the name of Tyrese Maxey, a rookie who played 44 minutes in the game. Granted, they had like literally 7 or 8 bodies. If the rule is 8, they had 8. If the rule is 7, they had 7. They were thin. And you can see 41 minutes. Took 33 shots. Did shoot 54% from the field. 7 rebounds. 6 assists. Went for 61.25 drive. 39 actual points. At 4-7 with everybody being out. We still got Simmons out. We still got Milton out. We're going to put him off to the side too. Maxey and Embiid, right? And we could probably continue to go, right? Danny Green did play 36 minutes in that game, had 4 fouls. Maybe he would have played even more. 17 shots. Embiid's going to cut into that a little bit. But he's still at least in play. Don't love the 4-7 price tag on a guy like Danny Green, but you can see he had to step it up a little bit. 7 3, 17 total shots. When's the last time he took 17 shots in a game? Not at all this season. Isaiah Joe, which sounds like a fake name that you give somebody when you're doing a shady transaction. 4,100. Played 45 minutes. Took 18 shots. Shot terribly. Took 11 threes. Shot terribly. Still walked away with 24 DraftKings points. Someone we're going to have to consider. They're just short on bodies. Dakota Mateus, 41 minutes. Took 13 shots. So the usage didn't seem as high with this one, but he did end up with 25 DraftKings points, which at 3.9, you're fine with. So the Sixers are shorthanded, to say the least. You gotta, I think Mike Scott hasn't played yet this season. He's actually, he hasn't played since the 31st. He's probable, so he's gonna relieve some of these people. Maybe a guy like Paul Reed sees less minutes, who only saw 26 to begin with. Maybe it bleeds into the dude we just talked about. They're just thin. They got more bigs. I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to start one of these, Bradley or Dwight Howard at the 4 next to Embiid to give him some size to try something different because they're in trouble, right? How many minutes do we expect from Mike Scott? If he starts, I'd be willing to assume he gets a ton of minutes. But if he doesn't start, I'd be a little nervous because he's missed time. The only reason. But maybe it's a slate where we can't rule out Howard playing together with Embiid because of how thin they are in general. Right now, Howard only played 24 minutes because he had 5 fouls. That was without Embiid going up against Jokic. But regardless, at the very least, there are more players we could probably pluck from this right now. But at the very least, I think we're taking Maxey and Embiid because the usage for Maxey is crazy. And yeah, Embiid will impede in that. But you mean to tell me he's not going to take at least half of these shots? Even if he takes half of these shots, he's still in play at that price, and the minutes should still be phenomenal. They're playing Philly, so if the game gets out of hand, they're playing Atlanta. If the game gets out of hand, which I'm not saying it necessarily will, but if the game were to get out of hand, Atlanta we know is a very bad defensive team. I don't. It's going to benefit the rookie. He's getting an opportunity to play more than he ever really does, right? So, yeah, that's why he's a cover boy. Starting with Philly. Back to point guards from the top. Luka Doncic has looked good. We are unsure of what this New Orleans team does to other people, right? Dallas got hit with some COVID stuff too. We want to check the status on that. It looks like Jalen Brunson is still out for 7 days quarantining. Josh Richardson is still out. So this is another situation, right? We saw Hardaway have massive usage in his last game and play 40 minutes against Orlando. He was on 12 for 20, right? What would happen if he's having those days where he can't hit a shot? What would have happened then? I don't know, but it doesn't matter because he did. Trey Burke is now 4,500. He only played 21 minutes against Orlando. That's it. He was balling. He shot 11 for 13, 7 for 3 from 3. I was pretty much all in. But he was min price. Now he's 4,500. Different situation. I was surprised at how little he actually played. I really thought he would have played more than that. Considering Brunson's out, Jay Rich is out. I thought they would have found more time for him on the court. I did. Wes Iwundu played 32 minutes and did what he did on Orlando his entire career. Nothing. But James Johnson, though, right? 26 minutes. Didn't take a ton of shots, but he was active. 5 boards, 2 steals, a block, 3 assists. That's the James Johnson that we're accustomed to and we're used to. Maxi Kleber tested positive apparently on Sunday, but there's some uncertainty around his tests. If Maxi Kleber were to get ruled out, I mean, again, just another guy we kind of plug in here, James Johnson. Now, I don't know. It said he had a positive test. Now, the one other thing I forgot to mention, Porzingis is actually questionable. So we have to hold the phone on that. If Porzingis plays, that's going to interfere. I mean, I doubt he plays a ton anyway. Either way, put it that way. Either way, if Maxi Kleber is out, I think we could look at James Johnson again. I mean, we could look at him now, but I mean, we could look at him more solidified, right? More of a solidified approach. Willie Cauley-Stein's out there playing. Don't love the price. So again, just more teams ravaged by the COVID situation, quarantine. What you got to do, what you got to do. Now back to point guards. So yeah, Luka is fine. He should see some increased usage, especially if Hardaway doesn't have the efficient type game that he had last time. But New Orleans has kind of been like death to fantasy players when they played against teams. Stan Van Gundy's kind of transformed the team a little bit to something different, right? Westbrook is out, so we'll take a look at Beal for sure when we get the shooting guard. I think Dame is in play. Trae Young obviously in play. No Ben Simmons to worry about in this situation. Look at McCollum's price. He's earned it. I'm not hating on him, but that's up there. Chris Paul, kind of interesting. Going up against Washington, right? Fast-paced team, not very good defensively. So he's been kind of mediocre for this price, but maybe the right matchup will kind of put him over the edge. LaMelo Ball has been awesome. I think he's the youngest player to ever get a triple-double in the NBA. He was 1 assist short in his previous game against New Orleans against his brother. And then he got it done against Atlanta. Just give him a little bit of pace and he gets it done. Still coming off the bench. It was nice to see him play 31 minutes. But we're going to have to just keep playing him in tournaments right now because if he's going out there putting up 40s, 50s, 60s, it's too good to pass up. Keep an eye on Holiday. I say keep an eye because Giannis is questionable. I think Giannis plays. He had back spasms the day of, and he didn't play. Happened to be in a back-to-back 4 and 6. All that. I think he plays. But we'll see. If he doesn't, load up on Holiday again. Also keep an eye on Sexton, man. He's missed some time as well. If he does play, is he going to get the same amount of minutes that he was getting? Memphis is a pretty decent team. Well, I guess, believe it or not, I'd rather attack them more so with Morant in there than with Tyus Jones, who's a pretty good defender. Or at least he would like you to think that. Buddy Hield's questionable, which could give Halliburton an excuse to play more. I think any excuse the Kings have to play this kid more, they should. I think they will, but they should. He's been good. Man, Austin Rivers' prices come up. Look at that. earned his way up. So we know Westbrook. I guess we can look at Ish and Nito, right? We can go back to that situation. I think I prefer Ish at this point. Where's Nito at? Did I pass him? Did I pass Nito? 4,600. That's expensive, man. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's Ish or nothing, and it's a big slate, so we don't necessarily need it either. All right. Oh, I saw Cameron Payne is doubtful too, so maybe we see Chris Paul play, even a little bit more. We'll go over the shooting guards. We talked about Bradley Beal is extremely expensive, but we should see some massive usage, like we have. I mean, at this point, it almost seems like his floor is that 47 he went for, and with Westbrook out of the game, I can dig it. Look at McCollum, 8-8, man. It's big boy shit, big boy prices. Went for 51 in just 29 minutes as Portland beat the shit, ever living shit, out of the Kings. RJ Barrett played 44 minutes against OKC. We'll probably play something similar because Tibbs don't care about back-to-backs. So even though I don't love the price, we always have to consider him. Devin Booker is a way, if you don't want to do Chris Paul, like I think they're both a little overpriced from what we've seen. But this is a boost of a matchup, I think, against Washington. I can see him going into a little shootout mode with Bradley Beal. However, Booker's been known to get in foul trouble, which is another reason I kind of like Paul. He's been known to get into foul trouble. So if that's the case, that could worry us a little bit. Oladipo is all right. He's all right. I've been playing the Dylan Brooks thing, man. He's just not an alpha. I'm sorry, Brooks. You're just not an alpha, man. We thought you would become an alpha with the opportunity, but he has not been doing alpha things, man. Really hasn't. So Cole Anthony got 32 minutes against Orlando after his coach said he probably wouldn't play much because he saw. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was lying. He was lying, obviously, about playing much, but he wasn't lying about the soreness because he looked terrible, Cole Anthony did. Looked terrible. Bogdanovich is out, so Cam Reddish is getting all the minutes he can handle at the moment. Did really well against Charlotte. Took 17 shots. 13 three-pointers from Cam Reddish. Something to keep an eye on going forward. Dotson has been starting at the point guard position. He played 41 minutes against Milwaukee. And it was like he got assists. It wasn't just the three-pointers. He was only 2 for 7 from 3. But he got it done. Price is elevated here. I don't love the price at all. We can still work him in tournaments, I think. Right? If Sexton is out. If Sexton is in, no thank you. He'll take too much of the usage away. And then we got the Sixer guys for value. We'll move it over. Ingram's been awesome, man. He really has. He's been awesome. 8,600. It's expensive, but you can't say I hadn't earned it. Keep an eye on Middleton for the honest news, right? Fell a little bit short against Cleveland, but we know the usage is just massive. Kyle Anderson also has been non-alpha-like. He's just been non-alpha-like at the end of the day. If Sexton were to miss, we can take a look at Cedi Osman. Super disastrous against Milwaukee, but we saw him be more aggressive with Sexton out. Don't like the dude, though. Here we go. This guy, Denis, I know that Washington had guys out and everything, but this dude was impressive. He took 15 shots, 7 for 15 from 3, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. But the price is up to 4,300, right? It's not as it's a lot easier to take shots on those guys when they're like mid price. You don't expect nothing from them. We talked about Giannis Randle playing big minutes again. Only got 31 minutes against OKC because of foul trouble. Still went for 46. I mean, this is just this is how much he costs on the reg because he's playing so many damn minutes. And if he hadn't gotten to foul trouble, he probably would have continued to play it. Phenomenal matchup for Sabonis, who went nuts against Phoenix. Another good matchup for him here against the Kings. We could do that. Zion Williamson's going to be, especially if Kleber gets ruled out, there's going to be an issue here. Is that with the Zion matchup wise? Could be a matchup issue, if you will. And so could Collins. Collins could become that now too. We don't have the Philly all together. We do have Embiid down low, but still could represent a little bit of a matchup issue. They finally raised Brandon Clark's price. We caught him though against Brooklyn, man. He was in the Core Plays article. We caught him that day. That was nice. He finally came through. He was in the Core Plays article probably the 3 days in a row. And third time's a charm. He went out and did it. Boucher probably should be the starter at this point. He's the only one showing any kind of production. Whew. Had to sneeze and didn't want to sneeze all over the mic. My apologies on that one. Look for Bobby Portis. We'll go back to him. Maybe he's dominant. We will go back to him if, and only if, at these prices, Giannis is out. But Hachimura, Beal didn't play in the last game, so we thought he was going to do a lot more, and he just kind of didn't. And that was a big thing with and GVD, whatever his name was, the forward guy, is Beal was out. So that kind of led to it. I don't mind Hachimura. They got Crowder there now, so I think they're going to be a little bit better at that position, unless the dude's just like an AD-sized player. So I'm not that crazy about it. This guy, Denny, he took advantage of Beal being out. Melo is 4,200, and he deserves to be 4,200 at this point. And there's James Johnson again. So, again, it looks like we're going to be playing some Dallas guys, playing some Philly guys, and just kind of playing the wheel and working guys in between. Isaac Okoro is only 3,600, and he's earned that price tag. Even with all these guys out, just can't be aggressive enough, man. He's not ready. He's just not. Going to centers, Drum Dog Millionaire. 41 minutes against Milwaukee, just completely smashed. 24 rebounds, man. It's a contract year. His minutes have not been guaranteed like that, but the last 2 games, it's good to see him playing big minutes like that. It makes me feel a little bit better going back to him, even against Memphis. I don't think that Jonas Valanciunas is like a slouch. He's a big guy, but can Vooch do the same thing? Vooch just went nuts against Dallas. He's playing Milwaukee, which is the team that Drummond just diced up. Now, I know Vooch is not Drummond, and Giannis was out, right? There was no Giannis down low. I think what you saw Drummond do to Milwaukee is what you see when Giannis ain't there. Without Giannis, you got Rolo down there. You just don't have an alpha down there that's going to grab the boards and protect the rim. That's what Giannis does. Aiden, this is a good spot for Aiden, man. I'm not going to lie. He's been disappointing. I thought he would do better with Chris Paul. And as far as fantasy goes, he's been a little bit worse with Chris Paul. But that could just be the small sample. But against Washington, who lost Thomas Bryant, which was just a fucked up situation. That sucks. I do like Thomas Bryant, fantasy-wise anyway. But, yeah, I mean, he should be able to take advantage, right? Joe Val, he's another one, man. It's disappointing. Such a weird thing with Joe. He exited the contest because of the league health and safety protocols. But then he apparently announced from his personal Twitter on Sunday that he was good to retake the court. So I really don't know what to make of it. That's something we're going to have to deal with this season. That's just the way the world is. It is what it is. I don't mind going back to Nurkic at 6'6". I still think it's a low price. I'm very disappointed to see the minutes, though. It seems to be a trend. Against Chicago, we got 28, but it seems to be a trend with him minutes-wise. Holmes is questionable. He's a late scratch. If Holmes were to miss, how many minutes? I saw Bagley out there in garbage time, which I didn't really understand so much. He was literally in garbage time. He didn't play much at all. Maybe because they were getting blown out, but I did see him in garbage time. But Whiteside got 24 minutes, went for 28. If Holmes is out, I'll be playing Whiteside. There's no doubt. No doubt. I like Mitch Rob at 5'5". Only got 27 minutes against OKC. His game. Yeah, against OKC. Oh, okay. No. We're looking at the, that's from the 8th. That's from the 8th. What am I talking about? But yeah, 5'5" for Mitch Rob against Charlotte. Charlotte's not good against centers. I don't give a fuck. Let's go. Center is kind of interesting for Washington, who's going to play it. We got Rolo, who doesn't do a ton. I mean, it is Phoenix, a team that's really bad against centers. You got Rolo, and then there's Mr. Mo Wagner. And I think if I was going to play any of them at all, it would be Mo Wagner. Number 1, because he's cheap. Number 2, because he just has more upside. He's more a higher point per dollar player. He had 6 fouls in that game. So it leads me to believe that maybe he would have played more given the opportunity. So I think at 3,600, Mo Wags is an interesting value play. If you could fit him around Embiid, because Embiid is your cash game chalk tomorrow, assuming he plays with everyone else out, which is what it looks like. That's going to do it for the early look position by position. Appreciate those of you that hung around and look forward to hanging out with those of you at WiseTake.com. And hopefully you can catch our pre-lock show with NBA. Like I do an article. I try my best to keep it updated as much as I can. And Paulie does the same, our written content. And the projections I update even while I'm on the show. I'll be adjusting the projections, and they instantly update. The cheat sheets instantly update. You can download them right away. But the best way to get content aside from the projections, if you use an optimizer, is to watch the live stream, because so many things changes, especially at this point in the season. In this type of season, so many things change before lock. It's extremely important to make sure you're updated on things and get the information that way. So I do employ you to get a day pass, check us out, and see if we're the right fit for you. Hit the like button on your way out. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.
Yeah.